All right, this is Live Free Podcast, week 4. My guest today, well, it's just Mike Barkhoff, no Zach Delfskin. My guest today is Darla Barkhoff. She's my grandmother. She had a cameo role in Infinite. She has a minor role in I Give It a Year, and she is the star of one of our most recent short films called Need. How do you feel about being on the podcast? You worried? Anxious?
Fun.
Fun?
Yeah.
Okay. It won't be fun for long.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, now we're diving into it.
Okay.
Tripping. How did you feel about filming Infinite?
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Expand on that.
It was
What?
the character I played, just being able to do the costume silly, the teeth, the glasses.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite.
The weather was not working out for us.
Yeah, but it still worked out.
It still worked out, but it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
That's an example of figuring out what to do if something bad happens, and you gotta get it done. It's something you gotta do a lot when you make movies and shit. How did you feel about filming Need?
I thought it was fun too. A
Well,
little more serious.
Yeah, a little more.
A little more serious.
Yeah, with Need is from a new. Well, it's not new, but it's season 2 of a web series of ours called Chapters. I don't know if you remember Spree, Black and White, shit like that. Chapters was we kind of abandoned it after Ashton left, and but it was originally supposed to start in 2020 anyway. But I decided to pick it back up because I found that. I found all the writings for season 2 that I had written from like 2018 to early 2019. And I was like, some of these are like way too good to just throw out. And that was one of them that I had written in 2018. That time up there is minute to seconds.
Mm-hmm.
If you're.
No, I was watching.
I didn't know if you were trying to figure out.
Nope, I got it.
Okay, all right.
This one was more. I also liked. I didn't have to talk.
Yeah.
That made it even.
Which is a little different than what you're going to be doing next. I Give It a Year, but
I was more relaxed in this one.
yeah, this one was
the first one. It was hard trying to.
Yeah, that's what I really like about making a short film as opposed to a film. You don't have nearly as much stress on you.
Yeah.
It's a lot more free. You can just sit back and do it. I know a lot of people have, like literally some of my closest friends at times have been like, why do you even still make short films? Like a lot of them are just stupid. They're just you in a room, and it's like, I don't see the purpose to really try to chase something so difficult when you could just sit back and relax and enjoy life and throw out something that's real easy but still thought provoking at times. I don't know if I know you're real busy, so you probably haven't seen every single thing we've produced, but the last one, www.cell.society, which was before Need, it's the season premiere, the first episode of Chapters, season 2, which is subtitled Atrocity Exhibitions. That one is just me, and it's kind of like you in this role, where it's just me being real relaxed. There's no dialogue, it's real easy to do, but
kind of free flow.
Yeah, and a lot of people I know already, in the back of their brains are like, this is season 2 of Chapters. Like the season 1 had a lot more action-packed shit, but I want season 2 to be more thought-provoking because I want it to be like the Twilight Zone, but I don't want it to be like the Twilight Zone in a sense where you have William Shatner on every season, and you lift up the camera and it's these people with pig masks that have been experimenting with you. I want it to be real easy and laid back, but just have that thought-provoking layer of the Twilight Zone where it's like, what if this happened or what if that happened, and how could we change that person's life? But at the same time, I want a message behind it. So like with Need, you said it best in the chat with creators, which was that it's how sudden something can change in someone's life, going from being a normal person to a crooked person in a time of need, which I didn't even consider that when I wrote it or had the title in mind. I just need like addiction, like cocaine.
Yep.
But the first episode, www.cell.society, that one was more like the addictions of an everyday person, like your phone, and that like in that one, it's about a dude that myself, who wakes up and his phone hasn't been charging, and he's trying to find a phone charger for his phone because we have all these phone chargers now. It started off with just the one, but now there's up to 3 or 4. And he can't find it, and he's hitting up all his friends trying to find it at the store. can't find it, and when his phone dies, he dies too. And I think that's kind of like, you know, hand in hand with, you know, you being obsessed with technology. You know,
Yes.
once you run out of the technology, you don't know what to do with yourself almost.
Because you're so tied up into it. It's part of life.
Yeah, and that's definitely something I've been trying to work on as myself as a person. But like, I mean, with the career that I'm trying to get into, especially, I have to be on Facebook and Twitter promoting this, because if I don't promote it, it's not me chasing, and if I don't chase it, I will never succeed in it. You know, but that's just one of the flaws that comes with it. But I honestly hate being on Facebook and seeing someone complain about their life problems all the time, or, you know, opening up Snapchats and it's someone, oh, I want to die, and it's like, well, what's going on? And then they don't even reply to you. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, oh my, like, it's such a force in the way of natural human confrontations, just really making people's minds really flawed. You know, they can't see what they're supposed to see because they have this screen in front of their face that's telling them think this way or believe this, or, you know, like I think just this morning we were having a conversation about Jimmy Hoffa. I just finished the film The Irishman, which is a great film, but you didn't even know who Jimmy Hoffa was, and I was like, you know, it surprised me because you grew up in that time period, but I was doing a lot of research, which is one of my favorite things to do. You know, I'll sit and I'll research certain things and all that, but uh, you know, like all the stuff that I take in as research, I read it on the websites that I have found have never let me down. I don't search for fake facts. I search for the truth. But I know a lot of people will read something and they'll just believe whatever they read.
Yeah.
And I feel like you have to have a certain mindset and integrity and brain cells in order to actually adapt what the internet is telling you into knowledge and be able to go out there into the world and say it. So I know I've been going on a tangent. I'm trying to make this last an hour like Zach wants me to.
But there was one thing I was going to say about the neat that we just did, the
Yeah.
filming. I think it's kind of cool how you tape this, but yet your plot, in your head you have a plot, but yet you like to leave it to the viewers.
Oh yeah, real
of-
ambiguous.
Yeah, about how they're going to see it, how
Yeah,
they're going to interpret
yeah.
it and stuff.
That's the whole point of chapters. With season one, me and Ashton had the whole plan of, you know, everything you see unfold, it'll come together in the end. This season, there's none of that. It's not going to come together in the end. I want each episode to be thematic. You know, I want, you know, like I remember at one point you said something like, "Well, there's a lot of empty vodka bottles in this shot," and I was like, "That's perfect," because it like a big theme of the
Sets the scene.
season is addiction. You
Yeah.
know, like you with the coke, me with the phone. I don't want to say too many details before the episodes actually come out. I'm very excited about it. There's a few episodes in particular that I really wish I could, like, you know, in front of a microphone talk to you about, because I'm extremely excited to do them. But Zach would be on my ass and he would be like, "Where's the element of surprise?" That's the whole point of this show. Like, we didn't even tell anyone we were coming out with season 2. It just, the first short film of 2020, you know, it popped up, chapters, season 2. You know, like, we're just trying to really keep people on their feet and guessing as to what we're going to do at this point, because the Barking Vans live to be like 7 years old, and it's not dead by any means. It's just whenever me and Jared are on the same creative wavelength. But right now, Live Free is what I'm mostly focusing on. I'm just trying to make sure, you know, especially in terms, like the whole title even, Live Free. I chose that title for a reason, because at that point in life, I was going through, you know, a lot of turmoil, and I wanted to just be able to really, like, tell everybody else, like, you know, fuck off. Like, I want to be my own self. And that's one thing that me and Zach really try to do with everything that we make, is, like, have a message so the people that are having a hard time can actually, like, use it, you know, like, oh, I don't need to feel as pressured.
But
you know?
I think it's a good message even when people that aren't going through a hard time. Everybody needs to
Yeah.
to learn to be themselves, to live
Yeah.
life the way they want
Yeah, not
to
enough.
get the most out of it.
Yeah, not enough people really pursue that, you know. And I showed you him once, that Mac Miller dude.
Mhm.
He's the one that passed away when he was 26. You know, that was something that he was real big about. Live Free is actually named after one of his songs from, like, before his first album even. You know, he's been a big impact on me and a lot of people in the team. And, you know, uh, I've thought, you know, no better way to honor his legacy now that he's gone than to, you know, not only name the company after one of his songs, but also kind of keep that same message. And I know me and Zach had this conversation once before where it's like, you know, we've constantly changed and rerouted, you know, so like what happens after Live Free, because inevitably speaking, it probably won't last forever. Nothing's infinite, you know. And
There you go.
I gotta crack my back. But I don't know what comes after Live Free. I guess we'll see where life goes. But
Yeah.
right now, I think this is a very important message, especially where me and Zach and Jared and every person in the group is. I think everybody needs to learn to kind of, you know, take it one step at a time, not feel the pressure. You know, you're a member, but you don't really, you know, you're the oldest member.
Thanks.
Yeah. If we're gonna be dropping toe tags on people and placing bets, I know your name pops up a lot because we're very morbid. We like to bet on who's gonna die first in the group. I'm just joking.
She's
but...
thanks, Mike.
Yeah, you're welcome. There's the compliments.
That joke's gonna be on you if I outlive you all.
Yeah, you might. There might be a scientific cure that comes around where, you know, I know already for work they've been collecting my urine in tubes so that, you know, one day they can get a perfect worker just like I am.
Oh
yeah. I've had this hunger for this career for such a long time.
Oh my gosh. I remember when you were, as soon as you could start writing, putting things on paper, you would do, I remember we had a family gathering and Grandma Tony and Aunt Sandy were over, and you were, oh God, you were young, you were under 5, and maybe it was around 5.
I think it might have been, because it wasn't Star Wars related.
Some kind of.
Yeah,
but
Star
you
Wars.
wrote 5 pages front and back of the papers, a story, and actually Grandma Tony still has it to this day. You know?
I think if I remember right, it was Star Wars related, which was 2005 was when the last Star Wars film came out. Like they were saying it was going to be the last, but it wasn't.
But I think you were probably the only little kid I ever knew that knew all the actors of the movies and everything too. And you would always research.
Well, yeah, and I'd study like the DVD covers and shit. Cause I'm the only son, and I credit that with you know, being bored and locked up, and you know, having nothing to do. So you turn to the paper to write something. You turn to the internet to find out something. You know, a lot of people in school, especially, you know, they would. You know, I put on this face to kind of make people laugh, and it comes off as dumb because that's my favorite type of humor. You know, I like you know, your Will Ferrell movies. I like it when you're being real stupid and there's not much to say. But I guess in time, you know, I just realized that putting on that face wasn't worth it, and I wanted to start making things serious. But I remember in school, one thing that really sort of, I mean, it never really pushed me down, but it really pissed me off was a lot of people really questioned my intelligence. And it's like, I'm smarter than all you fucking retarded apes on this school lot. Like, you know, like all these kids, you know, especially when it came time to film stuff in school. I was talking about this with Zach Osgood on the last podcast. I recall an incident in like 10th grade where we were doing a school project for filming, and someone was like, "How do you fucking charge this camera?" Me and Jared tried to explain it to him, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, I'm not a nerd." And it's like I told Zach Osgood, if it weren't for people like me and Jared and Zach Delphs and the amazingly wonderful and brilliant people in our team, we would still be in the fucking caveman era.
Yeah.
Like me and Jared can put on a face, we can act like Will Ferrell because we're fans of Will Ferrell, but it doesn't make us retarded. Like Jared and I can have the most serious conversation on earth, but it's behind closed doors because we try to put on this, you know, and we try to put on this face, and that all goes back and ties directly hand in hand and correlates with, you know, we want to give this message out there because me and Jared have a lot of friends that are struggling, you know, and we want to just put out this message that there's no need to struggle. You know, it's life.
Take it one day at a time.
Yeah, one day at a time. Do what you want. The way I look at it is 50 years from now, I'll be 70, you know, and in those 50 years, I can either live a really morbid life, I can have a bad thought process, and I can push that negativity on other people, or I can try to make a change, you know. We're all born with a voice. It's just figuring out how to use it.
But you also can make your life according to how well you want to live it by being positive.
Yeah, and that's where I was going with that. Yeah, so like that's what me and Jared are at, and Zach, and you know, I keep saying me and Jared because I'm so used to that. But now it's not just me and Jared; it's me and everyone involved. We're all at this point where it's like, you know, some people haven't quite figured it out yet. I'm trying to keep, you know, reminding them. Like, I'll have a lot of friends that'll hit me up and be like, I'm having a bad day, I'm super depressed. And one thing I've been telling a lot of them, you know, is just, you know, take the negatives out of your life, focus on the positives, and, you know, imagine life 50 years from now. Would you rather be mourning and worrying about things that don't need to be mourned or worried at this specific moment in time, or would you rather just be happy and have a happy 50 years, And it's really the best way to look at it, but...
And it's also too short. Life's too short to sit there and ponder on things, and like if you're fighting with relatives and stuff, and you don't want to talk to them and everything, 20 years down the road, now you lost that.
Yeah, it's not worth
time,
it.
You can't get it back.
Yeah, we live in such a narcissistic society that... Like, when we're on our deathbed at age 70, that's when it really hits us. Not 70, it might be 80, it might be 90. But, I never really envision anyone actually living a comfortable life past, 75, to be honest. But, studies have shown different recently, but that's beside the point. I guess where I'm going with that is, it doesn't hit you until you're at the point where you're about gone, where you're like, who have I cut off in my life, and that's why I try to make amends with everyone that have cut me off, unless it's been major to the point where it's no, they deserve it.
Well, sometimes you just got to walk away.
Yeah,
you don't have to cut them out, but you just have to walk away.
There's people that are people, and everybody makes mistakes and stuff. But then there's also people that are just really bad people. No matter how many times you reaccept them into your life, they just don't. They won't change.
That's kind of where this film kind of fits in too. That you just did the Need, where they might be having a good life and all of a sudden they're having troubles.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to make that camera shot with their wedding ring in it.
Yep. Yeah, they're having troubles, and then they turn and do stupid stuff.
Yeah.
To try to get them back on track because of pride.
Yeah,
a lot of it's pride and stuff.
And curiosity,
Yes.
Yeah, and
but I think in the long run, then when they think back, it kind of teaches them. They learn from their mistake with that. Yeah. Whether they get caught or and slide by the.
Yeah, and that's one thing that, especially with this new chapter season, I've never done it in the past where I've looked at it and been like, where is this character of mine going to be when they're on their deathbed, fictionally, and they're in a hospital or whatever. But now I'm starting to do that, and it's like, where's the character in Need going to be when she's dying and she's 90, What is she going to be, doing? And there's two routes that her life can take after that film ends. She can stay addicted to the coke, if her life even continued because it was left on an ambiguous note, or she can get off of the coke. Find her way back into life. Yeah. But either way, that moment in life she's going to regret. And that's the best type of film, if you ask me, is studying them in that moment of time that they'll regret. Because that's when, nobody wants to watch a life about grandparents just having grandkids.
Yeah.
They want to watch a film about grandparents that have grandkids and then cut to 6 years later and,
a little bit of drama.
Yeah, there's, or a big event, like Breaking Bad, something along those lines. That's what really draws people in, and, that perspective even for me has changed because I remember when I was a kid and I used to get really excited about an action film and I'd be like, oh, this is what I want to do. Now I have no interest in making an action film aside from James Bond, which is just because I believe it's in our family, the James Bond, everybody in the family really likes those, but...
And I think this year with your career, you had a lot of family support.
Oh, yeah,
your
definitely.
Mom and Dad were always supporting you, even as a young child.
Yeah.
Buying movies for you so you could watch them and stuff. Because they knew you enjoyed that stuff.
Yeah.
Your Uncle Travis took you to that.
Comic-Con.
Yeah. You went with Aura and your dad.
Aura is one of the first people that really got me into movies because I started borrowing them from him.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is my direction into not being so bored. I can put on this movie and go into this fantasy land, but... There hits a point where you get to 14, 15 years of age and it hits you and you're like, damn, it really sucks, but it's the truth. You can't just get funding to go blow up 19 spaceships and film 5 car chases. You have to have logical funding for that. So that's where I'm at right now. That's why I'm trying to get these moments that are just real reflective. And that's why my second film is going to be a comedy. Not so much the budget aspect, but because, one of my favorite musicians, J. Cole, he just made this collaborative album with, you actually might find this cool. There was over 100 musicians that showed up to his recording studio, and they recorded over 140 songs in 10 days.
Wow.
It might have even been less than 10 days. It might have been a week, but it was a short period
amazing.
Of time. And he gave an interview as to why he did it, and he just said, at this point in my career, I looked at it and it's I'm being so self-indulgent because he hadn't made any albums with anyone but himself for his last 3 albums, and he
so
said
the creativity, let it flow.
Yeah, he said like, I don't want to look back at what I've done 40 years from now and be like, wow, I really wish I could have worked with him or him, but stupid, my stupid mindset telling me no, that'll hurt your career or whatever, blocked that out. So he said, that was his way of trying to experience everything that a normal artist, which he doesn't consider himself, or he didn't then, would experience, and that's kind of what I'm taking this moment as, instead of, being in self-pity because I can't really get the funding that I need for the films I'm going to do. It's like, I'm still going to do the films. I'm just going to come up with new concepts that are easier to do and
ways to pull it off.
Yeah, that's definitely the second film, because I remember Zach was kind of on my case about making too much serious stuff, and it's like, okay, I get your point, so I wrote out this whole comedy script, and it was like, is this good enough for you, like I wrote it in like the course of probably 4 or 5 days, and I just sent it through to him, and I was like, there's the comedy, like, I don't really want to do it, now I do, but at the time I didn't really want to do it, and then it became kind of a real life problem. That's when I worked on the second draft of the script, and when it became a real life problem was when Donald Trump got impeached. And I don't like getting political in front of the microphone of the camera, but I will say that when he got impeached, the next day on the internet, there was so many spelling errors I saw, and there was so many people like waving around their fists and putting out their words that they really should not have been putting out because they didn't know every side of the story. That's why I tend to stay shut up when it comes to that. I'll have my opinion, and I'm welcome with Jared and whoever else having their opinion, even if it doesn't match mine. But it's like, just think about the ripple effect. Think about who it's going to affect, how it could affect you positively or negatively. Definitely do a spell check before you post that shit, because it just makes you look like an idiot if you don't, like I remember the day after, I had to, I have a good group of friends and supporters, so a good support group that'll listen to me no matter what, I would never say this to any of my actual, like, friends that I don't want to step on toes and ruin relationships with, but I have certain friends that I can talk to about whatever, good support group, and I said, I'm not even getting political, but the amount of spelling errors I have seen on the internet today is just stupid, like, in 20 years from now, is onomatopoeia not even going to be a real word? Like, is gunshot going to be onomatopoeia because people are too lazy and too brain dead to actually spell out the word gunshot? Like, are they just going to write boom, boom? To me, that's just what it seemed like. And then the amount of errors and everything, it's like even these journalists and stuff that have went to school, they just don't. They don't know how to fact check. They don't know how to write.
That's the thing. You got the text messages and stuff, and it's becoming today's way of shorthand.
Yeah, it ties back to that short film I was talking about earlier. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do with this season of Chapters as a whole, is tell people, in a general concept, don't rely on addiction. Get off your phone. You don't need to be on it all the time. It really does take away from the people around you. And like, it is an addiction of its own because it puts you in your own world, like an addiction would, And I mean, I know I have problems with it, but like I said, it's not really an excuse, but my reasoning for it is I have to promote my thing some way. That's like right before we started this podcast, I told you, we're going to be taking a picture after this. And I know you were joking, but you're like, a picture of why? Because I had to post it. I had to, you can't just post something without a picture anymore because people won't look at it.
Can Charlie take my spot?
I suppose. It's like, there's no posting something without words anymore. People want to see things.
Who's behind the scenes and stuff.
Yeah, not even that, but like people just don't want to see just plain words, written across text. It's sad, but that's where we're at. I do want to give a free publicity out to Nike Air Mag because I was pretty stupid and I bid on these pairs of Nike Air Mags from Back to the Future Part 2, and it was like $130,000. They weren't even my size, but I won the bid and I didn't have the money, so now I'm like paying them off. So I was hoping this would take away from the money. I have a bad financial advisor. No, I'm just joking. But
I'm sitting here like, you just blew $130,000 on shoes. You gotta be kidding. Did you see me? My face? I was just like, well, I don't want to say this on the mic, but hey.
Yeah, no. No, I like to. One of the things me and Zach are working on is trying to throw like actual ads in here because they do that during podcasts. So we've been trying to work on that. So I like to sneak them in when the guest
just about gave me a heart attack. I was like, holy crap!
I like to sneak them in when the guests.
I was thinking after this, I'm gonna go call your dad.
Yeah, no, that would be a bad idea.
Yeah, no kidding.
Are you ever going to try to get further with your artistic habits?
Mine?
Yeah, you like to paint and draw and shit.
Yeah, I'm starting to pick up the drawing again. I'm into flipping furniture.
Are you gonna sell them at like museums and
no,
hot dog
probably
stands?
not. No, yeah, maybe hot dog stands. I was thinking about trying to sell some more of the stuff I'm flipping, the furniture that I paint and redo, and I don't think she likes pop.
I hope not. She's looking at it like she wants to knock it over. So, are you ever going to make it into a career? Or is it just going to be a habit?
Kind of a
hobby.
A hobby.
Yeah.
A hobby, like. I would love to have a she shed and have a shop where I can, bring a bunch of furniture in and open up a little furniture store or something. That'd be great, Yeah. It's to me, I think it is for you too, with your movies and stuff. It's relaxing. I know it sounds funny, but you're throwing yourself into your job and it's just your time.
Yeah, it's better than your actual
full-time job. It's like a stress relief.
Yeah, because at my full-time job, I feel like I'm like a slave.
Yeah.
It's like, screw this. Like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
But you have to for the money,
But it's just a stress relief. I think it's just a good, easy way to just kick back.
Yeah.
And I know my friend Jane and we bought a camper together, a fold-down, and we were going to fix it up and camp in it every so often, her and I, just to get out, good friends. But we decided we're going to fix it up and flip it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It just becomes one of those.
It's just so many easy ways out there to make money that people don't understand. You just got to have the will and the strive. And,
definitely.
To do it.
Well, yeah, that's kind of how I feel with the short films. Like, I mean, if I'm being honest, I haven't made a single dollar off of these yet.
But it's a good way to promote, though, too.
And selling merchandise, I have.
But sometimes you got to do things and not get paid for it to promote, to get your name out there.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm really trying to do right now. I'm just like, I think it was me and Zach that were talking on one of these earlier podcasts also. Zach Delph's, not Osgood. And we got to the point where we were talking, and it was like, we started talking about revenue, and it's like, we really haven't made anything for revenue. And it just kind of hit us both, where we were like, that's how much we love the craft. Like, we've been doing it ever since, I have been doing it since I was 13. Zach is, I want to say 2 years younger than me, so he's probably been 13 also, because he joined in when I was 15. I want to say Jerry got real serious when he was 14. Connor's been trying to rap since he was like 17, I want to say.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, we all got into it pretty young. Connor was there helping me when I was like 13, but he kind of didn't like it that much. I kind of forced him into it.
It's weird when you're young and you get a love for some sort of a passion, for some creativity project. But it's weird how you never lose that.
Yeah. Yep.
Even when you grow up, you still, you and I were doing photography there for a while.
Yep.
And I did photography way before you were even born. I did videos when my kids were small. Your dad was little and stuff. But it's just, and I think that's in our family history, and maybe that's why you're so good at this, making movies and stuff, because
I don't know. I like
the camera work.
I like to give myself a lot of props for that.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it's in the blood though too.
Well, yeah, but
I think it's in the blood.
I mean, with me, especially with what you just said with photography, I mean, I would photograph more if it wasn't such a combat field. There's a lot of people competing in it.
Oh yeah,
and it's just, I find it to just be so repetitive, like posting on Instagram. Oh, here's my picture of the concert last night, and it's like I've seen these same angles 300 billion thousand zillion times before. Like it's just, to me, it's just ridiculous. And I really think that even with films, like I almost gave up with films, but I keep finding more and more passion for them. I don't know why. Largely to Zach's credit, I think I told you this. Last month there was a point, well, I guess it's almost 2 months ago now. It was at the end of December. I was at this point where I was ready to just quit, and I like, me and Zach were, Zach was even like, okay, how much you want for the stuff? And Zach kept trying to talk me out of it, but I was just being, what's the word? Really stubborn.
You're having a downtime.
Yeah, really stubborn.
Like a mind block.
Yeah, and well, it wasn't even that. Like, I was writing and everything just fine, but I was just pissed off because I got to thinking about it, and it's just like, we're just so polluted in the film industry right now. Like, all these films are coming out that are just so senseless and meaningless, and people actually go to pay to see them. And one of my favorite movie director, Martin Scorsese, he gave an interview towards the end of November where he's like, I don't understand why we have to have 14 superhero films in the theater at the same time, which is a thought of mine that I've had for a long time. I've never been a big fan of the whole superhero trend, and the way he worded it was perfect. He was like, if you like superhero movies, fine, but why is it that when I leave a movie and I want to go see another one, every other goddamn theater's got one? Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's true, and that just spoke measures to me. It's like, we are rushing things so much at this point, and the money that Disney puts into a Star Wars film, or you can put your pop in there if you want to.
No, I ain't gonna put it in there.
Into a Star Wars film, or a superhero movie, they could be putting it into something entirely original, but nobody's wanting to do that. And it just kind of hit me, and I was like, I never, like I said before, the only thing I want to ever touch is James Bond. Other than that, I don't want to be reproducing The Lion King 20 years from now. I don't want to remake Star Wars again, Harry Potter, because what's done is done. What's said is said.
You're trying to put new out there.
Yeah, I want to put new out there, and a lot of people, they won't pay to go see the new because they don't find any interest in it, and it's, like I said, it's a pollution block. It is, and it's really hard for me to push through that because I have a feeling that it's going to be like that for a while. But Zach, he kind of talked me out of it, and here we are now, and I'm doing my best to make as much original stuff as I can, but it still does kind of, it pisses me off more than anything, because I know that this short film that I put out, if it were to be, Star Wars, the return of Luke Skywalker and the severed hand, I know that we would get a lot more views,
Don't you think that goes hand in hand with change? Change is hard. People don't accept change.
Yeah, but it's just sad to look at it as a whole and realize how bad that is. People really do not accept change. That's why I almost drifted to music last year instead of movies, because if you look at the music scene, there's a lot more people coming up on the music scene that 30 years ago would not have been able to come up on the music scene.
Maybe you'll be that push, Mike. Maybe you'll be that one that'll get the movie industry to kind of turn around with.
Well, yeah, that's what we tried doing with Barking Bands, but the thing is, I don't know, it's such a, like I said about photography, it's a combat field. Mm-hmm. And so is music. Really anything with the arts is a combat field, but, I feel like music is probably the easiest field to get into because people don't devote that much time to it. It's just a song. Like, okay, it's just 4 minutes of my life watching a song.
And I don't see the photography part being a combat because I don't know. I enjoy seeing people's creativity, how they're setting their subjects up for pictures, or even like sunsets and stuff like that. You're thinking sunset. I've seen 1,000 sunsets. Yeah, but it's the creativity in the mind, how they're looking at it.
Well, what I'm saying is a lot of these people taking the pictures of the sunsets and the people, they're basing it off of previous pictures of sunset and the people.
Yeah, you got to use your own.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm saying when I say it's a combat field. Like, it just gets tiring, and because of the fact that there's been billions of photographers, and there's been billions of photographs, it's at this standstill where you have to have your own creativity, and that's the hardest thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
Is to find your own creativity when there's absolutely none. If it weren't for technology, I feel like we'd be a lot more advanced. But because of technology, we're not as advanced as I would like us to be. We are stuck in, kind of a repetitive loop. The same films have been coming out for almost 20, 30 years now. The same photographs have been caught on photo for probably 20 years now. It's not, there's no growth in the artistic or human field because of technology.
Technology, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you worried about me pursuing this as a career?
No. It'd be great. Remember I told you I want my own wing? With my own butler and chauffeur and my own swimming pool?
Well, remember when I said that won't happen?
Yeah, I know you're joking now. And you know it too deep down. You just gotta,
No.
Come to grips with it.
I don't think I am.
Might quit fighting it.
So are you excited about me pursuing this?
Yes.
Did you think I would be further?
Right now?
Yeah.
No, not really. Not
really?
yet. Not yet. Because you're just really getting into it.
What's your cutoff? Where do you think I'm going to be when I'm 30, 10 years from now?
When you're 30?
Yes.
You're going to be in a mansion with me in the West Wing?
Yeah, but that's what I thought when I was 10, and now I'm 20. 10 years ago, that didn't happen.
Having that, it's good to have a dream at the age of 10, but your brain's not thinking realistically. You're not out in the real. You're out in the real world now, experiencing what it's like how hard it is to actually make a living and to get by.
Yeah. But have you ever like studied anyone's career that does something similar and been like, oh wow, I hope that doesn't happen?
No.
Like an example of mine is Martin Scorsese, once again my favorite director. He got really overworked and he fell into addiction and he ended up in the hospital. He was 110 pounds.
It's okay, so maybe sometimes it's best to go the slow way about it then.
The what?
The slow way, like, just work your way up to it.
Well, yeah, and he was going the slow way, but he's like me. He's very hard on himself.
Here's the thing, here's what I always told your dad too, and I think I've told you.
Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
Whatever you want in life, if you work hard enough for it, you can achieve it. You gotta keep it in your mind positivity. You gotta think positive. But anything in life that you want to succeed, I think if a person really puts their mind to it, you can achieve it. Now, are you going to be able to live in a million mansion, millionaire, be like that? No, not if you're not a millionaire, unless you got yourself a sugar mama.
What if I want to time travel and I'm positive about it? Will I be able to
let's be
travel?
realistic.
That is my realistic wish.
Okay.
See, now you're seeing flaws in this.
Well, yeah, you're kind of going out there.
I'm not pinpointing flaws in this. I'm just pinpointing reality that I want to happen, and therefore you're finding flaws in what you've stated.
But it's like you said, though, most of the movies, things are actually happening in real life now.
Like the
hoverboards and what was those? What else did we talk about with that one car? Remember that movie we were watching?
No, I'm not gaslighting you either. I think.
See, I'm not a big movie person.
I know that.
Yeah, I'm more.
Which you miss out on a lot.
Okay.
There's a lot of great films.
Yes, there is a lot of great.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't watch any movies. I do, but I'm more. I rather be outside.
Oh yeah, no. But I'm saying like when you find the time, you should watch a great film.
Sometimes I do.
Because there's some great ones.
When I'm sick or bored.
I bet I can name 5 that you haven't seen. Taxi Driver.
You could probably name more than 5.
Taxi Driver.
Yeah. But see, now you're rattling a lot of these off, and I might have seen them, but I just don't remember because I'm getting senile.
Okay, so I'll try to aim for the new ones. American Hustle?
No.
Okay. American Pie?
Yes.
Fuck. Well, there fails that. I knew you'd seen American Pie. That's not even that great of a film, really.
Kind of. The first one was funny.
Yeah, it's funny, but it's not great. Okay. Now on with the podcast. We have tripped over some stuff long enough. I don't know if we ever really finished this one. When did you realize that I was actually going to pursue this as a career?
Probably when you were young. But I could see it then.
I think there was a phase where I didn't want to do it. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but I think, okay, when you were in high school, you were starting to get pretty into it. I could see you were picking up the photography more. The directing was becoming more of a challenge for you.
I made my first film when I was a senior.
Yeah, see, I saw it way back when. Grandmas see these things.
Well, I'm not a grandma, so I can't speak for that.
Why are you picking hair off your shirt?
Because the cat sat on me, and it's a black shirt. So now it's pretty bad. But wasn't there a point when I stopped, and I didn't want to have any of it? There's been a few points, and I don't know if you've noticed them.
But most of them, from what I'm seeing, is where you still had the interest. I don't think you ever lost complete interest.
I think there was one point that I did.
Really?
Yeah. Because I got tired. Well, it was actually right before we did The Moderate Gatsby. I lost complete interest because I realized how time-consuming it was, and I realized, how hard it was to get it. Kind of like the same stuff that I'm saying today, but I just gave up entirely because I was trying to focus more on high school, and fitting in and getting more friends and whatnot, and in that period, I grew a lot more friendships. That's, I believe, when I met Ashton.
When was it in school you guys did that for the theater? Didn't you do a...
The one that went to the theater? That's what I'm getting
at.
Yeah, we made The Moderate Gatsby.
That's when it really hit me.
That was Into the Wild that went to the theater. I think it's Into the Wild. Maybe it's Into the Woods. But we did The Moderate Gatsby, and that's where I was getting at with that. So I kind of came off of this big trend of not wanting to do it, and then we got assigned a school project, and it kind of got the juices flowing. And me and Jared were like, okay, they want to do a trailer for The Great Gatsby. Why don't we make it funny? So at the beginning of the book where it says, when I first lived on the East Egg or whatever, we were we were like, okay, why can't we make this kind of a gangster thing? Like when I first moved into, a long time ago on the west side of the egg, shit like that. And we made that, and we were really happy with it. Everybody in the friend group was laughing. But then we got after school detention because it was too close to actual cocaine, even though it was a bag of sugar in the scene. And I think that kind of pushed me and Jared back down, and we were like, okay, fuck this. This is stupid. This is why we didn't do it, because we got tired of being criticized. We got tired of everyone doubting us. And then about a month later, we got another book assignment to turn into a trailer, and it was Into the Wild. And she originally said Mike and Jared aren't allowed to do it together because of the previous one. And that really pissed us off. And we were like, okay, we're not even going to try.
See, that to me is where they're damaging your creativity.
Oh, yeah. And that's a big thing about school in general, and film schools, I would say. They all try to damage your creativity.
I don't agree with how that school handles that.
Because even if you're looking at film schools, it's this film must be under 4 minutes long, but that's counting the credits. So you're saying that I could turn in a movie that's a minute and 50 seconds, and I could just have 2 minutes and what would that be? 2 minutes and 10 seconds of credits? That makes no sense. Mm-hmm. Like, what? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And that's where me and Jared, I think, got real sick of it real fast, because we were like, there's kind of like what I was saying before, it's so hard to get into the career. So now you got all these people already piling up more and more bullshit to the career to make it even harder to get into. But yes, what that school did was stupid. But I don't know, it must have been like a moment of the history putting itself into action or something, because suddenly, a day later it's different. Mike and Jared can be on the same group. Okay, perfect. So me and Jared get on the same group, and we set out to make Into the Wild, knowing that it was a competition in the class. We wanted to win the competition in the class. Obviously, that was there because, especially after The Moderate Gatsby, we were like, that fucking teacher, we're going to show her wrong. And these kids, knowing that we had to stay after school, we're going to prove them all wrong. So we set off to do that. We didn't realize that it was going to be as big as it was. We thought it was just going to be like a lot of people being like, oh, cool. But at the end of it, I think we got a standing ovation in class.
Awesome.
Yeah, the teacher was like, holy crap, I didn't know you guys could do this. One of the teachers I looked up to most, he was like, yeah, that was really good. And I was just like,
but see, sometimes, the teacher being negative toward you, thinking the cocaine was too real.
Yeah.
That's what gives you that push.
Yeah, and that's
you even said it. I'm gonna show this teacher.
Yeah, and that's what I think. That's where it kind of that was what brought myself, and I would say mostly myself. I don't think Jared was really on a hiatus. Jared doesn't really like to produce as much as I do. He just kind of works in the background. Mm-hmm. But I was considering myself on a hiatus. I wasn't making anything. That's what brought me back out of my second hiatus, and it worked pretty well to do that. After that, we made Candlelight, which now, a lot of people say it's the best, which really gets on my nerves, but...
Sorry?
Yeah, that actually is, I think, another question of mine. What is your favorite piece of work I've made? Is it Candlelight?
Candlelight, and then that one with coffee and cigarettes?
Oh, yeah.
I know that was just a music type video thing, but
we still put a lot of work into it.
It was awesome. And that one, Mike, I have to tell you, it really was kind of heartfelt.
Yeah.
You guys, you put a lot into that to where we could feel what you were trying to send as a message.
Yeah, Coffee and Cigarettes is one of my favorite songs off of...
That was the best.
Vic Menza's first album, The Autobiography. That one was kind of a weird experience because Asher and I were just kind of real bored one night. We were like, we should do something, and it's like, we should make a music video. Like, we don't do that often, but we didn't want it to be like a stupid cheesy music video. And he's got a lot of great songs on that album, so we were kind of tinkering with them all, and finally we You know, there's a lot of the songs on that album, which are also great, are about, you know, kind of cheating on your girlfriend and shit. And we're like, we don't want that as an image. You know, we're like coffee and cigarettes, like that. That's like perfect, you know.
Yeah.
It's nothing too, you know, it doesn't hint too much at the relationship that we had. You know, it's real ambiguous, but at the same time, it's, you know, it's able to be done. So we did that, and I think we only did it in the course of a day or two, and edited it together right away. And I think Ashton really liked that one too.
What I liked about it is the part where you give her the ring in the movie or in the the video, whatever. But then you reverse it where she flips it off, and then it really tells that story.
Reversing the video footage worked great on that one.
That was awesome.
Into the Wild also had some reverse edit, and I know that our computer science teacher, he gave us a lot of praise for that too. He said, I don't know why, but he found that like to be one of the coolest parts of it, and he said it really added to like what we were trying to tell. With what I really like about Into the Wild specifically was I think we had 3 cameras on that one. We had a big camera, we had a small camera, and we had our actual camera.
Wow.
Yeah, so that one was the one where, you know, we were getting all these different, you know, definitions being caught, different speeds on the hard drive of the camera. I mean, not hard drive, this SD card of the camera. You know, we were able to, you know, capture something in raw footage and then capture something in digital footage, and then we were able to also capture something with, you know, like a GoPro cam, you know, so I like that about that. What I really don't like about Candlelight is the fact that we had just got a new camera, so we started recording with that, and then the battery died, so we moved down to our last camera, and I had written Candlelight in less than probably 10 minutes, and we made it in less than a day, like probably less than 5 hours. The only thing that really made that filming any difficult, like any type of difficult at all, was that one of our cast members at the time and crew members at the time, Emmett, he was a little late, so he pushed us off probably an hour. But other than that, that movie, you know, it didn't go smooth at all. The shooting, that was the only thing that stopped us with the timing that we had planned. But even then, it didn't go smooth because the camera stopped working, the lighting was bad, yada yada, this and that.
You're experiencing, yeah.
But I just don't understand how people say that that's the best. It really kind of just it makes me super frustrated.
I think it's like, just how people what they like.
And well, not even that. I think it's also kind of like what we were talking about earlier, where it was like I had just gotten out of that period where I wasn't doing anything, and I think for people to see that, they were like, "Holy shit!" Like that was. You know, I think they were just like, damn, like that's what he came back with. But I wasn't intending for that. I was just intending for something, like it was such an easy, simple film. And I honestly, I wish that I could do something that easy and simple and really have it get the attention that got. Because it's such a hard thing to recreate. But, you know, and that's why I made Candlelight too, because I wanted to make it a strong, evident point that I'm done fucking around with Candlelight. I don't care how many people tell me it's their best. I don't care how many people tell me I should do something similar. That was the whole point of Candlelight 2, was, you know, that short film where I'm sitting in front of the wall just ranting aloud, you know, and it's just like, I don't know what people want, you know, like one person's pulling me in the direction where they want comedy. One person's pulling me in the direction that they want an action or a horror or an action, you know, drama, you know, and it's like Candlelight is the one that it keeps circling back to, and it's like, I can't make a comedy and make Candlelight because Candlelight wasn't a comedy. I can't make a drama and make Candlelight because Candlelight wasn't a drama. I can't make an action and make Candlelight because Candlelight wasn't an action. That's limiting me to horror, you know, and I don't see the point in trying to recreate something that small and insignificant that I, you know, as I view it, when even when I do try, because I have tried in the past, people are just going to continue saying, oh, Candlelight was better.
That's why you just got to keep making them and...
Yeah, and I try to do that, but it is extremely...
I mean, keep making whatever, mix it up, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Your interests, and it'll dawn on them sometime, and they're going to be like, whoa, this is really good.
It is incredibly hard to just push past that and keep up doing what I'm doing, because, you know, that really is kind of... I know a lot of people view it as a defining film in what I've made so far, but I don't believe it to be so. I don't understand why it needs to be so, because it really... Like I said, it's nothing special. And if I could go back and take Candlelight out of the films that I made, I probably would.
Oh, God, no.
I probably would, because I just don't see it having any positive impact in...
I think it was just the camera work and stuff, too.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I
the
mean,
angles and
yeah.
everything. It was just it kept you suspense.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I like the camera work that we done in other stuff a lot more.
Oh yeah, I do too.
Like, Spree, which I didn't touch the camera that one. Ashton did that, but I think that one had really great camera work. I liked the speedy camera work of TBD, which was Josie Davis's short film. I think that's a great short film. Windfall, though it never came out, I think that one had really good camera work also. That starred Travis in his first starring role.
Oh, yeah.
I do want to get that one edited out there eventually, but it's right now it's a problem with the computer that I'm working on. But when I get a new computer, I probably will edit that one right away and put it out. But after that, it becomes a question of, and I won't put it out how I intended to as a web series. It'll just be a short film, like a 50-minute film. But after that, it's like, where do I go with this? Do I make a second 50-minute film, or do I make a longer film, or do I make multiple 50-minute films following up in succession? It's like, or do I just make like a 30-minute second half and then edit it together with the first half and boom, call it one film, make it and call it good. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now. I didn't mean to kind of just throw that out there, but Zach Delves likes to do a thing at the end of each podcast where we talk about projects that we're coming up with. Cool. So we are nearing the end, so we're almost out of questions. So I do want to ask one or two more. What is your favorite form of art?
My favorite form of art?
Yes.
I don't know. Mine's just drawing and stuff.
No, I mean like music, movies, like not yours that you do.
Oh.
In general.
Well, I'm not much of a movie person, so I'm going to have to go with music.
You like music? What is your favorite artist?
My favorite... Oh, God, you're going to laugh at me and stuff, but I really like Michael Jackson. And,
I do too. I like Michael Jackson.
I think he's very Prince.
I like M-Jazz. I like P-Rince.
I like Prince. I like Alabama. I'm a mixture of everything.
I'm a big fan of, if we're going to your times, I really like the Beastie Boys.
Led Zeppelin.
Simon and Garfunkel. I'm not big on Led Zeppelin.
You're not?
I'm not big on rock I can deal with it definitely. I can listen to, Paint It Black, anything AC/DC. Mm-hmm. I can listen to Led Zeppelin. It's not that I don't like it. It's just that for me, it's not in my niche of what I prefer.
What I really like now is how they take an older song and they kind of revise it.
Oh, sample it, yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
That's why I really like Eminem, when a lot of people say that they don't like Eminem. That's why I like a lot of his newer songs, because he does a lot of sampling. Like that one song as I showed you, A Rose, where he sampled the song A Rose. I think he does really good with that. I think Eminem's at the top when it comes to wordplay, and, I know he says a lot of offensive things, but people just need to kind of get off their high horse and stop paying attention to that. That was one of the last questions. Oh, you were going to be in my second feature film. How do you feel about that?
What is it?
I remember we were talking about it.
Yeah.
The title of the film is I Give a Year.
You didn't really fill me in on enough of what it's really going to be about.
You mean the movie?
But yes.
I mean your role specifically.
Well,
I think
the role, from what you were telling me when we were standing outside a bit ago.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be fun.
Yeah,
it is. I'm already. Remember, I told you I was already trying to think of character.
Yeah. So I can't give away the plot yet because Zach won't let me. But the basic premise of the film is it is a comedy that is unbiased politics. So we won't be leaning towards the left side or the right side any more so than the other 50 have. But we will be exploring human nature when it comes to politics, because I feel like people don't have the proper tendency in terms of listening and actually making an opinion. People don't have, the people running don't have the proper tendency in terms of actually, thinking of anyone other than themselves. They're very narcissistic, and I feel like a lot of people don't understand that anyone that is entirely different behind closed doors when you're around your closest friends and family, and with yourself especially. So this film is very much it's going to be fun.
I think it's going to be a fun film.
It's going to be a fun film
think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Because it's going to be a comedy, but it's also going to have the third act of the film especially has a lot of action sequences, which it's not going to be like, James Bond, where they're actually, it's going to be like stupid, silly action sequences, where it's like very overplayed and overdramatic.
Overacting.
There's going to be a lot of overacting. I finally, if everything goes as planned, I finally will not be in my own movie as much as I want, as much as I would rather not be. I have, once again, if everything goes as planned, I have a very short role. That's probably 3 to 4 scenes. But I'm very excited for that role. I really hope that I get to keep that role and I don't have to promote myself, because I think it's going to be a very fun role. I play a nitwit. Everybody in the film basically is a nitwit. There's only a few select.
So you sure you don't want to put me in that spot?
There's only a few select people in this film that actually have, brain cells, and I like it because if you were to take the characters and line them all up by brain cells, you're going to be rooting for the people without brain cells, and you're also going to hate the people without brain cells. So ultimately, it's a film about change and how nobody is the same, but in the proper ideology, everybody is the same in the film.
Yeah.
And it's going to have a little bit of hints of drama because of the plot that I can't explain. I'm really excited for it.
I'm excited about doing that. After you told me kind of a little bit about the character, it's like,
I feel like it fits so perfectly into the world right now, especially with the new election season coming up. I really hope we can get it out in November, because, that's like pretty close to the election season, and
gives everybody a little bit of a laugh.
I have a lot of really good plans for everybody that I've worked with before, everybody that's been attached to my films before. I have really good friends from 6th grade that 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th grade that I haven't seen in forever that are going to be coming back for, a part or two. And then I have, friends that have been in everything that I've made so far that are only going to be in like one scene. Like, it literally is just a change up of everything. It's me experimenting with other actors, but at the same time I'm keeping the really renowned ones that I've worked with really close. And I'm hoping that we can start filming it in March, and I kind of got an idea for the camera work. I just finished the script, the last draft of the script just recently, and I don't know, just thinking of the ending makes me laugh really hard. So I'm really excited about this one. I hope you are too.
I am, actually. Yeah. I'm excited about the character.
Yeah,
remember I was telling you some of the props I was already thinking about?
Yeah. Because, I don't know, my thing, and I'm sure you probably felt this way with Infinite. Infinite at times was like we didn't have everything we needed for a full feature film. And this one, which Infinite was all a mistake. I don't know if you know that. Like, Infinite came from me hitting someone up and being like, hey, I'm making a short film. Do you want your music featured in my short film? And, next thing I know, he's posting publicly on his social media, and he's like, hell yeah, my music got accepted into the first feature-length film, like full-length film, like over an hour film. And I was like, God damn it. And I was like, I would look like a retard right now. So it's like, okay, everyone, we're making a full-length movie. Like, that thing that was supposed to only be like 15 minutes? Yeah, it's 98 now. Like, yeah, but this one, I still consider Infinite my first feature film, even though I'm not 100% proud of it. But this one is, I'm very excited for it, and I think I'm going to be proud of it after.
I think so, too.
Yeah, it's my first comedy in a full-length form.
I think it's going to be great.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
All right, and that is the Live Free Podcast, Week 4 with Darla Barkhoff. You can see her in Infinite Need. She will be in I Give It a Year whenever that comes out. And it was great having you on the podcast. Thank you.
It was fun.
Now we have to take a photo to publicize the podcast.
Do we have to?
Yes. All right. Sweet. Stop recording.